This section is going to cover Houzz.com. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it, but if for some reason you're not, I'm going to go over a couple of things about how I use it with plant design, but I'm going to start as kind of an overview of what I like about Houzz. See this right here? It says create an idea book. All of these are idea books. So they're what used to be a scrapbook. In the old days when I started, people would buy magazines with landscape stuff in them and tear out pictures they liked. Well, now you can come onto this website and also Pinterest and have millions of photos to choose from to find things that you like. So in my contract, I ask that people do this for the entire project. You'll see decks and kitchens and things like that, but also part of that is garden design or the plant design. What do you like? And so here's why. If you have clear direction, it is so much easier to do your job well for a client. And I found this out the hard way. I've been using photographs. I used to carry in 4 photo albums into my meetings because I found so early in the game how valuable photos were. Because if somebody could point to a picture and say, I like this, it was very clear to me to give me the direction for the design. So when this platform showed up, I started using it the same way, only it's even better because they can put lots of photos in one place that I can get to, and they can also put comments on every photo. So an example of that is, so here's what I also did. Let's jump into plant design and why I like it for plant design. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. Let me start with what I like about it for my business. Okay, you can be on here for free as a designer. That's hard to find. Essentially, it's like the easiest to run website of your own. So this is my platform inside of Houzz, so to speak. I can go in here and this is my portfolio with my projects in there. And so, I can go in here and I've got all these plant designs. I want people to know that I love plant design and I'm good at it. So I've got a project that reflects that, or projects. This is my front yard actually in Santa Barbara. So that's great in terms of what it offers in that regard. It's easy to load and update constantly your own part of this website. Okay. What you're doing though is you're agreeing to let your photos be used by the entire platform. That's why there's so many great photos to choose from for all of us, because we can all access these. Okay, you can also get reviews, as you can see here, and what's nice about that is you just can send a link to your clients and they can review you, and that's incredibly important to the strength of your business. Just for people to see 55 5-star reviews helps get me a lot of work, just so you know. And then people can contact me through this website. Okay, so especially if you're a newbie, this is a very cheap way to get established and going. All right, so inside of Houzz though, what I also do, sorry, I'm going to go to my idea books. I created a plant styles photo idea book, this one right here. Why that's important is it makes it easy for my clients to go find some great photos of great plant design and then use those to help guide me on what they like. Somebody shows me this photo and says, wow, I love the black-eyed Susans. Cool. That made it very easy for them to see it in a good context and know that they like it. Okay. This is a really cool one in Austin, Texas. And so very simple. And a lot of people have liked this one. So my point being is I have curated from the photos clients gave me mostly all of these beautiful images so that my clients have an easy time finding photos to show me of what they like. So this is actually a public one. And by the way, it's Planting Styles. I believe it's public. You can use it. You can direct your own clients to this if you choose to. But if not, you can always create one of these yourself. If it's like, well, I just want them to see my own style, fine. Create an idea book and then give them access to that so they can get in there and give you good direction about what they like and don't like. Okay? So that's using Houzz. In a minute, I'm going to get into specifically picking a plant palette using these photos and then the idea book. By the way, here's how it happens. The client sees this, says, I like this photo. They've already created an idea book, the Johnson's Plant Ideas. Okay, let's say they name it that. So then they're going to say, save this. It's going to say, where do you want to put this? I'm going to put this in Mediterranean landscape style, okay? And I'm going to say update. And it's going to say, what do you like about this photo? This is where you tell your client, please fill that in on every photo. I like the grasses, okay? And then I'm going to hit change, and then here we go. So, update, there we go. Now, did it work? Let's find out. Let's go back to my idea books. Oops, cancel, sorry. Mediterranean design. There it is, okay? Oh, actually, this is somebody else's. I like the hydrangeas. I don't know. Some reason the comment did not show up. See how I did this on another thing and it says I like the hydrangeas. Annabelle. So that's why you want the comments to go. Now they can always come in here and add the comments and say I like the grasses. That's the second way they can do that, just so you know. So now that's in there. And by the way, I've gone into people's idea books and they've been all blank like this one. So then what I do is I say, can you please go in and tell me what you like about those photos? And they can go in here like I just did and they can label that. Please make sure they do that for you. You know, it just helps streamline everything. By the way, when I show people my plant palette ideas for them, I get 98% approval on all the plants, and it's because I just followed their direction. I'm not going to show them a bunch of things that are off script if they've given me very clear idea of what they like and what they don't like. So it's good for everybody, and clients actually get into it and they feel more connected to the design is the other thing I've noticed. So it's good for everybody to do this. So that's how to use Houzz at the beginning of your designs, and do the same thing for concept design too, by the way. Actually, I'm going to mention one last thing. I review all of these photos for the whole project before I start any design. The reason is that if I need a certain type of plant design, let's say they really love these agaves, okay? I've got to research whether those will grow where they live. And then secondly, that plant right there needs a certain amount of space. If that's super important to them, which it was on a client that I had recently, I need to conceptually, at the concept level, think about where I can create space for those plants. Does that make sense? So at the concept level, before I ever get to plant design, I already need to be thinking ahead about if I want to screen the neighbor over here, I need room for trees or very big shrubs, then I need, 4 to 6 feet of depth there potentially or more to do that job. So understanding what they like so you can incorporate it at the very first part of the design process is really important, and that's why you want to review all these photos, even if it's the plant photos, before you get started, because it'll allow you to think of things even at the preliminary level. And I am going to do a video about concept design and planting to make that point even more so. All right? Ask them to limit the photos to 20 photos for everything. I've had people give me almost 100 photos, and then it becomes this big exercise in understanding what they don't care about. When they're showing you that much information, it feels like they like everything, but they probably don't. So limiting them to 15 to 20 photos for hardscape and plants is a good idea. And then also I'd say 5 to 10 for plant styles is plenty. Now the example I'm going to show you, they gave me more than that, but theirs was plant design only. And so, and they're really into it. So they gave me much more than I needed, but nonetheless, this is a good example. So this one, not sure what that was about. They added that later after we were done with the project because they were working on their backyard. But here we go. This is more sparse than we think it would work for the lower slope by the street and less irrigation. So what are they talking about? Okay, see how sparse this is? Well, it's newly planted. It's one of the reasons it's sparse, and I can tell that. But the fact that it was a slope and they like some of these plants related it to their front yard, and they have a slope down to the street. We like this too. Okay, well, that's a little vague, so I'm going to aim for the ones where I get a little more detail about what they're talking about. Slope with different plant types and heights, okay? Still not super clear. Natural slope, question mark. We like the succulents, okay? We like succulents. They like that specific flower. Now they're getting into backyard stuff. You see how even though they're loading lots of photos, they're not being as specific as I asked them to be. That's pretty typical, just so you know. So then you have to start reading patterns. Okay, we like these plants. Other plants and rocks like the color. Okay, they like yellow. Now I got that. We like these plants, purple, yellow, orange. Pretty, if not in balls. What are they talking about? They're going to mention this in another thing. These folks don't like formal, over-pruned design. See that right there? They're calling that a ball, and they really dislike that. So, all right, now I know. Don't give them anything too formal looking. They like this one. So let's say they were clearer about really liking this, and this is representative of what they keep showing me. The thing I like to do is take a screenshot, and I'm going to drop that in the photo album. Okay, what do I mean by that? I also, so this is their plant palette that I create. I'm going to get into this in another video, but these are the plants that I assembled for their design. But what you're going to see is there's some other plants in here that I'm showing you, some plant designs that are from that photo idea book that we were looking at. This is in there. This is in there. They don't like this arroyo, but they like some of the plants. The plants. The plants. Okay? These will remind me when I'm in plant design mode, which I'm going to be using all of this plant palette you see here. These are going to be reminders of the looks that they like. There's that slope. It's kind of natural looking. And there's another one. Okay? That's essentially it. This is how I like to use Houzz, is I basically get in there, get the photos that they like, find the patterns of what they like and what they don't like, okay? And there's another one right here. This is what we don't want, no plant balls. See, they said it again. See these plants right here that have been pruned? So note to self, this is what they don't like, okay? So you can see how valuable this is, where you're getting these comments from clients and you're finding out what they like and don't like. It's way better starting point for a design when you have this much information about what they like and don't like. And that's the main way I use Houzz. I get them to tell me what they like and don't like. Then I actually take some snapshots of ones that I think are really representative of things that are nice. I drop those into my plant palette photo book in here. And then when I get into plant design, I'll have these pictures in here to remind me of different things that they like. Like if they had like 4 photos where there was orange and yellow flowers, okay? I might not like these particular ones, but I still know that they like orange and yellow flowers, so you're going to see when you look in here, look, here's some yellow flowers, here's some orange flowers. So they're quite different in terms of what they are, and also they had quite a bit of purple. So I've got some lavender in there, and I've got some other things, but these all came or were derived from the information I got out of the idea book. Okay, I think that's clear enough. So that's how we use Houzz. And next thing we're going to look at is creating this plant palette that you see here.